Hey, who fans, and welcome to the Big Blue Box Podcast. My name's Gary.
My name's Harry.
And I'm Maria.
And welcome to the November Roundtable.
Woo! Yay!
Thank you very much, dear listener, for tuning in once again to our monthly Roundtable show. This is the November edition, I guess you could call it that, and it's a trio performance this month. I'm joined, as you already know, by Harry and Maria. The other guys are either busy, sick, travelling, work. Take your pick. Take your pick. They're all doing stuff. So it's just us three. I mean, it's the best ones anyway. To be fair, let's be honest, these are the best two in the team to be on anyway. So, not that we don't love the other ones, but yeah. So, we have got some news to go through on this one. We were going to do a review of another story. We had a couple in mind. I think we've even watched one of them. But then it was a sensible decision to boycott that for another time, just because one of the stories was it requires a bit more in-depth chat and analysis and a dive into, and we haven't got the time to do that with a few of us with an hour. So we're going to run through the latest Doctor Who news that's been circling around on the interwebs, socials, etc. over the last few weeks. So we're going to go through mainly the information that's landed since the last time we spoke on the Roundtable about the war between the land and the sea. So we've got the launch date, we've got the times, we've got some episode titles, the trailers dropped, all that stuff. And we've also got an interesting condensed special edition of a certain episode that's going to go out before episode 1 of Surf and Turf. So we'll touch on that briefly as well. And then a very, very quick update about Russell's plans for the Christmas special next year. And I say plans as in future stuff to work on because, it turns out not a great deal has been done or planned thus far. So we'll touch on that as well. But before we dive into the news, Maria, how have you been since we last recorded?
I've been good. I'm well, which is good around this time
Always
of year.
Good.
I'm normally I normally come down with a bug or two. I'm fine. I haven't really done anything Doctor Who related. I've been watching a lot of podcasts, but that's about it, to be honest. I haven't watched a lot of Doctor Who. I was thinking of kind of cracking open some of those Christmas stories in preparation, like people open up the advent calendar. I was thinking I might just start going through those Christmas specials in preparation. Nice. We're in December next week, so I might start doing that next week. But that's about it.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's a great idea. Yeah. Getting the old Crimbo specials queued up because before you know it, Christmas is here and you're like, oh, don't have time to watch them now. Should have started watching them a few weeks ago. So, it's a good idea, that. Nice. Okay, I'm glad you're well, though. Yeah, I know what you mean. Like when we get into this time of year as winter approaches and starts to settle in, seasonal changes and stuff, you get the old lurgy and the bug, of course. But I'm glad you're well. Harry, how are you doing, dude?
I'm good, thank you, Gary. Yeah, it's funny because I was thinking of doing my own little Christmas Doctor Who special marathon. I keep meaning to do it every year, but then I never get around to it. Maybe this year will be the year. Who knows?
Yeah, but I mean, you should do it.
I shouldn't Definitely. I? Yeah, it'd be awesome. And there's enough of them now that you could make a weekend of that. That'd be a pretty good weekend. Put up the decorations, have some mince pies at the same time. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm excited already. But yeah, I'm doing all right, and it's been a good Doctor Who related month for me. I finished my Sylvester McCoy marathon, going through all of those stories. Yeah, and I really enjoyed it. It's a really solid era. I must admit, I don't think I'm quite as enamoured with it as some other people are. I know that you love the McCoy era, Gary. He's your favourite classic Doctor, right?
He is. Yes, correct.
Yeah. I totally see the appeal. I think I just prefer. I think Tom Baker is my classic Doctor, or maybe even William Hartnell, if I'm honest. But no, there's some really good stuff in there. I think if I were to pick a favourite, I'd probably say Greatest Show in the Galaxy. I think that was the standout one for me. I really enjoyed that one, and also Curse of Fenwick. That Fenric can't talk. That was a close second. Yeah, and now I'm working my way backwards. So I'm doing a Colin Baker marathon. I watched The Twin Dilemma for the first time ever, and yeah.
Yep.
Deary me.
Yep.
So
good soundtrack though. I love the music to that.
Oh, interesting. I didn't really pick up on the soundtrack. I think I really enjoyed Colin Baker's performance. I absolutely love Colin Baker as the Doctor. I think he was really shortchanged, as we all know. Yeah, I just think he made it watchable for me. He's I just think he's got this gravitas, and like and he has that ridiculous costume, but like he outshines it. He kind of, the way that he portrays the character. I don't care about the goofy costume. I think I just think he's a really cool Doctor. So yeah, so
that's cool.
A rocky start, but we'll see how that goes. And is there anything else? I mean, I did want to mention actually that if any of you Doctor Who fans out there are wanting some books for Christmas this year, or someone in your life that wants Doctor Who books, Zavi are doing another really cool Doctor Who book deal, 3 for £8, which is pretty decent in today's economy, I would say. So yeah, Zavi, 3 for £8 book offer. It's not just Doctor Who books, there's loads of books, but there's some really cool ones on there, particularly the Essential Terrance Dicks, which is like the compilation of loads of Terrance Dicks' Target novelizations. Those are ones that I've been eyeing up for a while, and at the minute I can get them for a really good value. So I think I'm going to do just that. So yeah, get on it. I'm not sure how long it's going to last, but yeah, that's happening right now.
Okay, that's interesting. 3 for £7, did you say?
For £8.
3 for 8. Oh yeah, 3 for 8 books. Okay. Yeah, looks good, man. Oh yeah, I like the top row. I'm on Zavi at the moment, as you mentioned that, and the top row of books is pretty much Doctor Who.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
They must be having a clear out. They must need to get rid of them.
Yeah, so the Essential Terrance Dicks, they got volumes 1 and 2, and they're $9.99 each.
Yeah.
So if you're getting 3 for £8, this is amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty nice, pretty banging deal. You don't get deals like that anymore.
Not since I were a lad.
No.
Did you get deals on books like that?
Nah.
It were good, I tell thee. So, that's amazing. I might have to, dude. Very nice spot.
Yeah.
A very nice spot, because typically we talk a lot about the special edition Blu-rays, DVDs, all that stuff from a visual standpoint. Other than touching on the Doctor Who magazine from time to time, we don't really talk about the books in great detail. I know Jordan's done Jordan's done a bunch of reviews on like the old Virgin adventure books and stuff like that. So he loves reading all that stuff. But yeah, there's a bunch of Target books on here as well. Very nice. Have they got the do they have it? Do they have what's the last one I wanted to get? It was a story that we all spoke about.
Oh.
And we said that the novelization, the Target book, is probably very good.
Paradise Towers?
Was it Paradise Tower? Yeah, it was, wasn't it? Yeah.
Oh, I must admit, right, I did purchase that after we talked about it. I ordered it off of eBay. I gave it a read. It's still trash, I'm afraid. I still didn't enjoy it. There was a chapter that was focusing all on Caretaker subsection 537, whatever the heck his name was, and like it still had all the jargon, all of the like bin liner, fire escapes, weird lingo and stuff. It's just, yeah, it still doesn't really translate well because it's just a load of nonsense. It's just it just feels like a load of nonsense. So yeah, I'm afraid I gave it a go. Still not for me, I'm afraid. Yeah.
I see. There wasn't actually, yeah. It was Paradise Towers, but if you're, yeah, I'll go on your recommendation for that. But I'll add it to the collection at some point of Target books. But
oh yeah,
there was one that I really wanted to read. Maybe it was one that Adam and I, a story that we reviewed a while ago then. And we spoke about the novelisation potentially being very good. Supposedly. I'm going to take a stab at it being... Please hold, caller. Please hold. Not that this matters too much, but I think it was. Just trying to get through all these bloody shooty reviews recently. Blah, blah, blah.
While you're looking at that, I've developed a bit of an obsession with the most recent Target novelizations. The ones that of the most recent shooty seasons. I just mainly because I think the book covers are beautiful. That kind of like blue sort of color scheme that they've got going on. I really hope that they like release subsequent ones in that style. I know that Joseph Lidster is writing a new Target novel. I don't know which one, but I think that's coming out next year. And there's going to be a few more like miscellaneous stories. So I'm hoping for more kind of that look like that, because a lot of these Doctor Who books I buy just because like they look pretty, rather than actually reading them. Which I will get around to doing one day. One day.
One day. Yeah. No, nice, man. Yeah, cool. I can't find the story. So forgive me, Harry and dear listener, while I went off on a little mini hunt for that story. I can't. It will come to me at like, when I wake up in the morning, it will be like, oh, it was that story. But anyway, we've lost Maria. She's got some bad internet as usual. When she joins back in, she'll dive back in, I'm sure. So let's kick off then with the war between the land and the sea. First bit of news which landed a little while ago. Everybody will know this anyway, this bit. But it's going to land on the 7th of December, which is the first Sunday in December. And it will launch with a double bill. So the first 2 episodes are going to drop at the same time, which is a reasonably popular thing that shows do these days when they drop a couple to kick the story off. Bear in mind, it is only 5 episodes. So we're going to get 2 of the 5 straight away. And then presumably over the next 3 weeks, we'll have the remaining 3 episodes. So that will take us up to the 28th of December.
So we actually have another double bill on the 14th of episodes 3 and 4. And then
no way.
Episode 5 is going out on its own on the 21st. And I think they've done that deliberately so that all 5 episodes are out to binge kind of over the Christmas holidays. That's another angle that Russell's putting on this. It's a festive box set that you can watch
gotcha.
While you're off work.
While you're off work, yeah, okay.
I can't think of anything better.
So we're going to rattle through this pretty quick then, which I know is to be expected for the most part anyway. It's kind of a mini series, isn't it? It's only a 5-parter. So there have been longer single story classic Who episodes. There's been 6-part classic Who episodes. So yeah. This is easy for veterans who have gone through the classic years, who have sat through 6-part episodes, and also the war games. Then this 5-parter will be a piece of cake, no problemo. So double bill on the 7th of December, double bill on the 14th, finale on the 21st. So the The episode titles have been released as well. The first 4 at least. So the titles are here. So the first one is called Homo Aqua. The second one is called Plastic Apocalypse. We can see where these are going. The third one is called The Deep. And the fourth one is called The Witch of the Waterfall. Episode 5, TBC. We don't have that yet. So we can probably gather from the first one that it is a... Maria is back. Maria's back. Hello. Here she is.
Hi, everyone. Sorry. My internet is rubbish. I do apologise.
No worries. We've just gone through the dates for The War Between the Land and the Sea. Maria, we're just recapping that the double bill episodes 1 and 2 will land on the 7th of December. The following week on the 14th, it will be another double bill. And then on the week after that, it will be the finale, episode 5. We've just gone through the episode titles as well. Homo Aqua, Plastic Apocalypse, The Deep, The Witch of the Waterfall, episode 5. They've not given us the title for that as yet. So, before I throw this to you guys, to get your thoughts on this, to get your thoughts on the individual titles, your thoughts on the writers for this. So, it's like a tag team between Russell T Davies and Pete McTighe, and they've kind of shared writing duties with it. So Russell writes episode 1, episode 5. Pete McTighe has written episodes 2 and 3, and then between them they've co-written episode 4. So they've kind of split writing duties between them. Your thoughts on this because one of the reason why I asked this first is because one of the main criticisms that we've had of Russell since he came back, especially the previous season leading up to shoot his finale episode, was we were kind of unanimous that we felt that Russell wrote a bit too much. He should have maybe stepped away a little bit, overseen a bit more, got some other writers in rather than write, everything, try and do a lot of it himself. So based on that, what are your guys' thoughts on him writing half of this, albeit with Pete McTighe?
I mean, yeah. I think I've had my fill of...
Yeah.
I really bring the bacon, don't I, Gary? Yeah, it's... I mean, yeah, I think I've had my fill of Russell, really, these past couple of years, because, like we say, the ratio has been very high, hasn't it, on his end, for the episodes that he pens, and yeah, I think it's really cool in a show like Doctor Who where you can have different writers every week, and that's different voices, and I mean that kind of helps the show because the show's a variety show in a way. Yeah, for The War Between the Land and the Sea, which is going to be like this serialized drama, I think it's cool that he's writing essentially half of it, and I mean, pinch of salt, like it's going to be sort of Children of Earthy kind of. Russell writes really cool like allegorical dramas, and this kind of, I mean, judging by the title Plastic Apocalypse, it sounds like it's going to be sort of in that vein. So yeah, I feel like this is where Russell shines, and actually maybe it'll be a bit of a gear change from Doctor Who. So it might be a good thing. We might not see the same sort of problems crop up. Touch wood. Pete McTighe, on the other hand, I mean, I've got to be honest, I've not really enjoyed his Doctor Who episodes. I think he did Lucky Day, which I thought was rubbish. He wrote Kablam, which was fine. I think he did another one, I can't remember, but obviously he wrote a lot of the trailers for the collection box sets, a lot, and they were wonderful. So double-edged sword, it could go either way. I hope we get good Pete McTighe, because we know he can be good. I've not really. I don't know whether he's had much experience writing dramas and things like that, or like allegorical dramas like Russell T Davies has done. So who knows? He might be good at that, but yeah, we'll have to see. But yeah, I'm glad it's not all Russell. It worked really well for Children of Earth, because Children of Earth was a mix of Russell and, was it John Fay? I think that was the other writer's name.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, and that worked really well. So, yeah. And I also like how it's all directed by Dylan Holmes Williams, because he was a brilliant director for the episodes of Doctor Who that he did. And it kind of provides a little bit of consistency, kind of like visual tonal consistency, you would imagine, by having the same director all the way through. So, yeah, I think judging off of that, I'm optimistic. Yeah.
Optimistic. Nice. Okay. Maria, what are your thoughts on this? Do you reckon that Russell can give us a bit of a different take and a theme on this stuff, or have you been burnt from Doctor Who?
It's a bit difficult to say. I would say probably it's interesting that Russell's writing the beginning and the end episodes. So he's kind of doing the introductory bit, which I'm assuming is going to include, I don't care, they're sea devils. I'm not going to call them, Homo Aqua or whatever. It sounds like a bottled water. I mean, doesn't exactly roll off the tongue. So I think it's interesting that he's going to do the introduction, because I want to see obviously how different this new species, I'm assuming they are some kind of new species, will be in comparison to the sea devils, or if they're, because I know sometimes they vary them and say, they're cousins and all this kind of stuff. So I think with Russell, he's good at all the kind of I suppose he's good at writing character pieces, I suppose, and I'm interested to see how all the different unit characters are going to interact. I suppose with Pete McTighe, he is kind of very issue led, I think, on some of the stuff that he's written for Doctor Who. So I suppose it could be a good mix. I'm just wondering how they're going to fill it for 5 hours, if I'm honest. I mean, I don't know how much story there is in how much they're going to do over 5 hours. I mean, Children of Earth obviously was something that Russell wrote, and he wrote it very tautly, and it was a very good piece of drama. I'm hoping this is not going to kind of disappoint in that way. I mean, it's very difficult. I mean, I've only watched, I've watched the one trailer. I don't know if there's been more. I've only seen one trailer. I think a lot of it sits on Russell Tovey's shoulders by the look of it. I don't, obviously he seems to be a really important character in it from what I can see. So a lot of it's going to sit on his shoulders. Is he the hero? How are unit going to get involved? How much is Kate Stewart in it? I suppose it's very, very difficult to say. I think he can be good at. He's not always been good at wrapping up stories, and I suppose I was going to say that worries me a little bit for the conclusion. But then again, he did write Children of Earth, and I thought that was wrapped up quite well. So I don't know. I mean, they've both got different strengths, haven't they? I think there obviously is an issue in terms of the issues that they're bringing up around plastic pollution and things like that. I suppose it's very of the moment. Will it actually interest people? Is it something that can sustain over 5 hours? very difficult to say. I don't know. I've heard that it might have adult themes in it as well. You know, and I'm not sure how I feel about that. You know, if there's a interspecies relationship and stuff like that. So, yeah, I'm not sure. We won't know really until we see it. But I'm cautiously optimistic. I'm hoping that it gives me more than I expect. I'm not saying that. There's so little that I've seen of it in terms of trailers. It's difficult to say, really.
Yeah, gotcha. That makes sense, though. I totally get what you're saying. It's there's a kind of air of trepidation amongst, especially people who weren't too taken with Ncuti's last season. If you know the Who fans that were not really feeling that, I think they'll go into it with a little bit of I would say though that I do agree that, as Harry was saying, maybe this will give him the sort of change of pace and change of gear that was needed from Doctor Who, because I think back in the day when he was overseeing Torchwood, that obviously had adult themes and it was a bit more not risque, but you know, a bit more sort of late night TV than Doctor Who, the main show. So and that had some absolutely fantastic episodes that he wrote for that, and also in the opposite direction as well for Sarah Jane, some bangers from there as well. So he has this habit of, you know, when he switches gears and focuses on something else that's not the main Doctor Who show, it can result in some really, really good stories and stuff. So who knows at this point, but it was interesting to get your guys' thoughts on that.
I just wanted to weigh in real quick, right? I just realised that Pete McTighe also wrote Praxeus for Doctor
Praxeus,
Who.
of course.
And that's interesting because that was also about plastic pollution, about microplastics. And I thought that was a really good episode. So, yeah, it's interesting that he's also writing for this spin-off, and there seems to be an element of that here. I think it's... I mean, say what you will about Doctor Who being political. I mean, you know, Doctor Who's always been political, so, you know, it's nothing new. But I think this is a really important issue, and I actually think it's really cool that this spin-off is talking about it. I just hope it's not heavy-handed, and I hope they deal with it in a sort of intelligent kind of way. But props on them for doing that for like a prime-time weird fish show that's going to be on BBC One on Sunday nights. That's pretty cool.
I get a sense that they're going to kind of focus on obviously what man's doing to the planet and things like that, and making humans out to be the monsters. So, you know, that could potentially be quite interesting to explore. I think there's quite a bit that can be explored around that. I'm hoping it will be quite political in some ways, because I think if it's got a message, as you say, Harry, not to be too heavy-handed, but I hope it is going to be political. Because I think that that could actually leave a good impression. But rather than concentrate too much on the Sea Devils, I think the human drama is actually far more interesting. So let's see. I wonder why they're sharing episode 4. That's interesting that they're actually sharing that. So maybe that's where obviously maybe things are coming together.
I'm very intrigued by the title, The Witch of the Waterfall. That
sounds really cool. Yeah, it could be for a number of reasons, the co-writing thing. It could be that one or the other one hasn't been able to quite nail the script, and so they've lent on the other person to come in and rewrite and do that stuff, so you get credit for that.
Yeah.
Or it could just be that they ended up in the pub. Yeah. A few brandies, a few sherries.
I mean...
And away you go.
I mean, Pete McTeague, he wrote during Chris Chibnall's era, didn't he? So I suppose there's not a common ground there between them. So it could be quite interesting to see what they both bring together to the story. I actually liked Kablam, and I didn't mind Praxeus. I mean, to be fair, it has been quite a few years since I've seen them. I think I did rewatch Kablam. I'm not sure if I rewatched Praxeus, but I think I liked them at the time. I know I definitely liked Kablam. I haven't really watched anything else that Pete McTeague has done, so I can't. I know he's done he did quite a lot of soap stuff in the early days, and then he's obviously moved on to dramas. So I'm not quite sure of his pedigree at the moment. I mean, he's done some really good shorts for the Blu-ray box set, which I've actually enjoyed. I think they've been really good, but that might have been just because they were shorts. I haven't seen anything. I haven't seen anything of this length with him involved. So I think it could be a good combination. I'm starting to come round to it. I think obviously when the news first broke about this spin-off, I didn't quite know what to make of it, considering that it's also using a creature that we know from Classic Who as well, sea devils and things like that. I wasn't quite sure what to make of it. I mean, as long as they treat them respectfully, it could actually be a good drama. I mean, I think there's a lot of negativity around it, because I think, those episodes could have been used in the series that we've just seen with Shooty to actually expand some of those ideas probably a bit better. But we've got a spin-off. Let's see what it's about. What I think is interesting is when they've actually putting them out, because I think the 7th of December is when they're doing the finale of I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here. I'm not sure. I think it's playing opposite that, so it'll be interesting to see if it can actually pick up loads of viewers that don't like reality TV, if that's the case.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
It's both a risk and you've got to give these things a shot, but having said that, we've said so many times now over the last couple of years that viewing habits are so different these days. It's not all about how many people are sat on the sofa with a cup of tea at that very moment of an evening watching TV anymore. It's kind of like that, I guess, for like the older generation, but just the watching public in general. You've got people that are recording stuff on Sky and watching it later. You've got people that watch it on iPlayer later and stuff like that. So yeah, it will go up against those on like the nightly viewing figures, but like the other stuff is very different these days, isn't it? And so yeah, but I get what you're saying though. It's a risk to put it up on against those other programs, because it's also going out, isn't it? On it is BBC One. Yeah, I was going to say, is it BBC Two or One? But yeah, it's BBC One.
BBC One. So they've given it a good slot, to be fair. So hopefully
very good slot, 8:30.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, obviously there are some shows that people still want to watch live. I think I don't think viewing habits have changed that much, in that there aren't some programs that are kind of that moment, and people tune in live. And I think I'm at the I'm a Celebrity finale. I think that will draw people in, because obviously if people have been watching for the last sort of 2 or 3 weeks, they'll want to see who's obviously the winner. So I think people will want to watch that live. So yeah, I think the series, if it can garner enough interest, will pick up more on iPlayer. I think you're right about that. Definitely, and maybe that's something people will watch later on rather than on the night. But yeah, I mean, BBC One, they've got a good slot, so they give it a shot, and I think you said it's a double episode the following week as well.
Yeah.
So they're pushing it out quite quickly. They're not building any momentum with it, I suppose. They're just putting it out and seeing how it will go. But yeah, it's December. I suppose, people will want to sit down and watch something in December coming up to Christmas. So it could do well, especially on the 28-day figures, which I think is what the BBC tend to look at. They tend to look at the 28-day figures, so it could do okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very true. Yes. Harry, what are your thoughts on the trailer?
The trailer? Which one? The one with Kate talking to the camera?
No, the standard trailer.
I don't think I've seen it,
Oh God!
Which trailer?
Maria, have you seen the trailer?
I have seen the trailer. Yes,
What are your thoughts on the trailer, Maria?
Oh no, I'm letting the side down. No.
It looks very very dark, both in tone, also in the way it's actually been filmed. I think there's obviously a lot of night shooting that they've done, so that kind of lends a bit of atmosphere to it. It was okay. I mean, it wasn't the best trailer that I've ever seen in terms of, I mean, obviously there's a world threat, and you can see there's obviously two opposing sides. It's not anything new in that respect, but it was okay. It was fine. I thought it looked nice. It wasn't a trailer that would kind of, if it was, it's not a film trailer that would kind of encourage me to go and watch it in the cinema, but it was fine. It did its job. It kind of explained the plot, explained what to expect, I suppose. Two opposing sides, issues around pollution. There was a bit of politics, I think. There's some politicians in there. So I think we know what we're signing up for with it. It kind of, it does what it says on the tin.
Gotcha.
There is a new trailer that just came out while we've been recording. It came out 28 minutes ago.
Yeah. So so I'm referring to like the one that Maria's watched, which is basically, Russell Tovey talking to, I think her name's Salt, the character from the Sea Devil character, and they're having a bit of a conversation, and there's some other characters, and there's a couple of fight scenes and all. Harry's looking bewildered.
I've completely missed this.
So there's three trailers. There's one which is like a TikTok style portrait video thing of Kate Stewart.
That's the one.
She's basically just saying, look, the Sea Devils have, or the Aqua people, whatever she calls them, I can't remember. She's like, they've made themselves known to the world, so this is a turning point. This is either going to go very wrong or very right. We need to treat this carefully. Enemies will be made, friends will be made, blah blah blah. You know that, yeah. Then there's the actual trailer that Harry knows nothing about, and then there's the trailer that's just dropped just literally now.
The tides have drawn us together. We would speak with him.
Me?
Homo Aqua chose you.
What happens now?
We inherited their world. They want it back. We will flood. We will drown. We will choke. We could end the conflict between our species.
Oh, today's the day. We stop.
Oh,
is this sorry, I feel like I'm digging myself, but like, is this trailer that we're talking about the one that was shown after the reality war?
Yeah.
Oh, I've seen that one. Yeah.
Right, so Harry,
I thought this was a recent trailer.
What are your thoughts on the trailer, Harry?
It was on in the cinema after that rubbish episode. I can't remember. I might as well not have seen it because I don't remember anything about it. But I remember thinking, yeah, it looks okay.
Yeah, I must
Heaven's sake.
admit, I think the one with Kate Stewart, I didn't particularly like that one. I think that kind of style of talking straight to the camera is quite old fashioned. I don't know.
Right.
I just kind of, I didn't feel it brought anything. I mean, I know it probably wasn't meant for television. I just saw it on YouTube. But yeah, I didn't like that too much. I don't really like kind of just looking at someone's face and they're kind of telling me what's going on. I think it's a bit of what is it? Show don't tell. Show don't tell. And I think that was a bit too much tell for me.
I will say that I actually preferred that trailer because well, it was nice to see a familiar character from Doctor Who kind of at the forefront, but also visually I thought there was some cool little like CGI shots as well, because you know this is the last product that's going to be using any of that Disney money, and you can see it in that trailer, which is really cool. And I just flicked through the new trailer, hot off the press, and there are some really visually striking shots in that, especially of some of the Homo Aqua. Yeah, it looks really cool. The trailers have definitely gotten better and more memorable as they went along.
They definitely have, Harry. Yeah. So 3 trailers all in all. 2 official ones. One 5 months ago that Harry can't remember. One that's dropped. We're recording this. It's now 8 p.m. on a Thursday night in the UK. One that dropped literally 30 minutes ago. And the kind of teasery trailer thing with Kate Stewart. But I will say, guys, that I am liking the look of this, you know. I've said this a few times now. I think this could be very cool. Because I say that with a sort of air of sort of fingers crossed, of course, based on what we've all said in the last 20 minutes or so, but or last 40 minutes, wow. But I do think that we're due a really good Sea Devil story. You know, something that's not your average, like, oh, look, everyone's happy, and now the Sea Devils are here, and they're a threat, and we need to defeat them. And yes, now they're defeated, and now everyone's happy again. I don't think we need another story like that. I do think we need something different, and it looks to me like this could be me reading into this either very, very wrong, very, very badly, or I've got this bang on. But it seems like there's a love interest between Tovy's character and the main Sea Devil character. I'm getting like flirty vibes from those two. So that could be interesting, couldn't it?
Oh, wow.
There was an interview with Russell Tovey and Gugu and Batha Raw talking about their favourite scenes, and Gugu said that her favourite scene was they were submerged in water, and apparently it was romantic. So
I knew it.
Make of that what you will.
You can see it a mile off.
I mean, I think it's a bit weird, to be honest. I thought The Shape of Water was a really strange film. I think it's proper strange. I'm not going to lie.
It does have a weird, I don't know, it has a weird, it depends on what the tone that they go with, don't they? It could be a very nice kind of romantic Disney style. I don't mean, and I say that very, very poor choice of words based on what's just happened with our friends at Disney.
Salt will become a Disney princess.
Yeah, it could have that kind of Disney-esque kind of, you know, Beauty and the Beast kind of thing, or it could be a Torchwood, that kind of thing. Raise one eyebrow.
I hope not.
As I say that, yeah, who knows?
Oh, I think, I'm a bit with Harry. It's a little bit weird. I mean, you know, I loved my goldfish when I was growing up.
But that's as far as it goes, right? It was just a mutual appreciation of, I like watching you swim. I like you giving me food. That's as far as it goes, right?
Yeah, I'm sorry. This is just too weird for me. I mean,
Come on, it's 2025, Maria.
Dear.
Come on.
Oh, listen, there are some really strange people out there, and there might be these things going on behind closed doors. But honestly, I suppose. Okay, this has got Disney money in it, and maybe there is going to be a little bit of this kind of fantasy element of romance in it, but it makes me feel a bit uncomfortable, to be honest.
Loosen up. Come on, there's no more lines anymore. Come on.
Okay, well.
Gary, you never mentioned this when we were talking about what spin-offs do we want to see from Doctor Who. This is a revelation.
This is, an insight into my weird brain. Yeah.
But if you think about what actually made, okay, let's go back to Children of Earth and what made that quite successful. It was the fact that you had a monster and you had the humans against it. And I think, we know where we stand with those kind of stories. Whereas, if you're kind of thinking, oh yeah, there's going to be a bit of romance between the sea devil and a human, it is just a little bit icky. I mean, it's kind of going into areas it doesn't really need to. I hope there isn't going to be any of that, to be honest, but I've heard there are some adult tones in it, so who knows. I might have to just shield my eyes away if stuff like that is happening.
Something a bit fishy about it, for sure.
Something a bit fishy.
We went through all the fish puns, didn't we, before?
There's no place
we got booed
for
out
it.
the building.
There's no place for it, you know that?
Okay, so, all right, cool. Thoughts on the War Between the Land and the Sea, I think we can summarise as a group here that we are looking forward to it, but we're not kind of expecting this to be an Oscar-winning, TV show of the year, groundbreaking sort of thing. It has the potential to be very good, but based on Russell's, hit and miss writing of the last couple of years, also has the potential to be one huge dumpster fire of a thing. So we'll, as always, we'll go into it with open eyeballs and see where we go. The other interesting thing that I wanted to touch on, guys, is the quote-unquote proper Sea Devils that goes out before episode 1 on BBC 4 and BBC iPlayer on Sunday the 7th.
We're abandoning ship.
Well, you'll be wanting to see the prisoner.
Why, Doctor! Miss Grant.
A concentrated beam of heat?
Deliberately to sink a lifeboat?
Yes. Am I to take it that you're a changed man?
This is our planet. We're not going to hand over the world to a lot of lizards, you know.
Those reptiles, Doctor, were once the rulers of this earth.
Let me make one final attempt to negotiate.
These apes cannot be trusted.
You have just made them angry. Very, very angry.
So this is kind of a very cool thing. I know Maria's going to absolutely hate this, but I think this is quite a cool thing. So the BBC are putting out a special 90-minute condensed version of the original 6-part adventure with updated sound design from Mark Ayres and an enhanced score by Lorne Balfe. Lorne is the guy that's composed the music for the War Between Land and the Sea, and they're going to kind of integrate that new score into the Sea Devil soundtrack a little bit to give it some kind of consistency between the two stories. And so Russell has said 52 years after they first rose from the depths, it's Sea Devil's night across the BBC. A great idea never dies, and viewers young and old can now heed the warning, watch the seas. I'm very sorry, but that's just got David Brent written all over it. A good idea is a good idea forever. Yeah? So, good. Excellent. Yeah? Brilliant. So, the Sea Devils. What do you guys think of the BBC deciding not to just put on the 6-part story in the run-up to the first episode of The War Between Land and Sea, but to spend time, bit of money, bit of know-how to edit this into a special hour-and-a-half thing, new sound design, all that stuff. What are your thoughts on this? Shoot.
Well, from what I understand, there is already a 90-minute version that was made years ago with the agreement of the original writers and the original production team. So I suppose this is a case of spending money where you don't need to, in terms of doing another 90-minute version of it. You know, like, it's not even the original people that are involved in it. Obviously, it's a new set of people doing it and putting their own imprint on it. And I think I've spoken about this before, about kind of taking something original and then trying to put your own spin on it. It doesn't. I'm sure in terms of the story itself, that won't. I don't know what impact that will have, because they'll have to obviously cut, I think, 2 episodes off the story. I don't know what impact that will have in terms of story development and things like that. I'm hoping that'll be okay. I'm not sure about putting a new score on it, and do you really need to do that? I know what you're saying, Gary, about how they want to have something that's equivalent to the new series that's going out, but it just feels like a bit of a waste of money, to be honest. If you've already got a 90-minute special that's already been done, why do it again? You might as well spend the money and go and colour something that's black and white and colour it and spend it in a different way. I don't know. It's a bit of a mystery for me. Yeah.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, so you think that the money should have been used more sensibly for something else. Gotcha. I think Maria's breaking up a little bit. I think her internet might have... Yep, she's gone. She's gone. There she goes. So Maria was absolutely correct, because they did this with a few stories back in the day. So mid-70s, they did an omnibus edition of the Sea Devils. It went out on BBC One, 1975, and this was quite common. They did this with about a dozen stories, I think, from the classic years, maybe more than that, where a year or so, at least a year after the original stories went out, and they wanted to repeat Doctor Who, some of these 4 parts and 6 parts. Obviously, it was quite a lengthy time to do that, because back in the day, back in the early days of television, Doctor Who was designed to be watched weekly, where you'd watch the episode, you'd have the cliffhanger, then they'd leave you waiting for a week, and you'd look forward to coming back and watching it and stuff. So if they wanted to repeat it, it means blocking out TV time for many, many, many weeks to do these multi-part stories. So they used to do this sort of edited, as they used to call it, an omnibus edition. So Maria's right. So that was back in the 70s. So I'm not sure if the 90-minute feature that we're going to see on the 7th of December is just that same edit that they did for the omnibus version in the 70s, but they've just tweaked the soundtrack and so on, or if it's a brand new edit, a brand new 90-minute thing put together. I can't find the exact details for that. I don't know if you can correct me, Harry, if you can find it. But
the article put out by the BBC Media Centre says fans are set to be transported back to 1972 with a newly re-edited version of the classic Doctor Who story. Right. So it looks like it's going to be from scratch, edited together. And I believe Benjamin Cook is attached to the editing duties on this, like he has been for the colorizations and the recent Pyramids of Mars edit that they did. So yeah, and those have been hit and miss. And to be honest, I think it's mainly depended on the Daleks in colour had some stupid goofy music running all the way through it, which completely killed the atmosphere. But Also, it doesn't help with something like the War Games when it's 10 episodes and you're trying to cut it down to 90 minutes. I will say, Sea Devils is a 6-parter. That's what I was trying to say. Genesis of the Daleks is a 6-parter, and I remember watching a 90-minute cut of that on the Blu-ray, which I think is one of those omnibuses that you were talking about, Gary.
It is.
And I got to be honest, I can't. I think it flowed really well, and I couldn't really tell what they had cut from that. So if they can do it with Genesis, I reckon they can do a good job here. And I think it's really cool that I personally think it's cool that they are spending the money on this. I think it was great that they did the Pyramids of Mars when it was topical, when Sutekh was coming back, and I think it's cool that they're doing this now with the music from the guy who is doing the music for the War Betwixt. Yes, Lorne Balfe, who, by the way, I was looking at his can you call it a filmography? Like the stuff that he's written music for, and he's done some cool stuff. He's done like Marvel movies and stuff like that. So yeah, it's pretty dope. So I am looking forward to this.
Same.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this a little bit more than the spin-off. I got to be honest, but but I'm looking forward to it all. It's all going to be fun, I mean, what else am I going to do?
But thank you for clarifying that. Yeah, I found the article now. Yeah, so it clearly states there a newly re-edited version to be broadcast ahead of that first episode.
Also, if you cannot wait until the evening to watch it, you can watch it from 6 a.m. The morning of. So on Sunday the 7th of December, you can roll out of bed, not even crack of dawn, it's blooming December, and you can watch it in the dark, cold morning.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Sounds all right, that. Was that on series, was that on the... It was, yeah. So, the DVD Blu-ray collection sets, Season 9, that omnibus edition is on there from the 70s.
Ah, nice
of
one.
The Sea Devils.
I've yet to buy that one. That'll probably be my next one, to be fair. I might watch them and compare, because I'm kind of sad like that, but yeah.
Yeah. We're not saying anything, dude. You carry on.
I mean, we're all here. We're all on a Doctor Who podcast or listening to a Doctor Who podcast. Let's be real.
Nah. We are not saying anything. So
we're not sad at all. We're cool, I think.
Yeah. So they were reasonably popular back in the day. So as an example, we're talking about the Sea Devils. So on that Season 9 box set, the Blu-ray Collected Edition, they've got the omnibus editions of the Sea Devils and Day of the Daleks. So, yeah, I've not seen the Sea Devils omnibus. I've seen the Day of the Daleks one when I started ploughing through the special features when this came out. It wasn't too bad, I must admit. Maria, welcome back. We were just saying that you were absolutely correct in that they did already do an omnibus edition of this, of course, back in the 70s. And we've just done a bit of digging and clarified that they're not just using that same edit with some updated soundtrack stuff. They are doing a complete new re-edit of the story into a 90-minute special with the soundtrack, the updated bits. And then I was just saying that on the Season 9 Blu-ray collection set, which I think you've got, Maria, I think you collect those, don't you?
Yeah.
That omnibus that you're talking about is on there, along with Day of the Daleks. Yeah.
Yeah. I knew it was on the Blu-ray. I just honestly, I don't get time to watch it, but I knew it was on there. So yeah, okay. I mean, I will give it a go. I think one of the things that I found with obviously re-editing things and adding new music, it tends to, it tends to be a bit hit and miss about whether it works or not. I think I mean, from what I understand, the new composer has got some pedigree, so I will watch it. I mean, hopefully it's not too jarring. I think what I found with some of the colorizations that they did, where they added music at certain points, it was too intrusive. So I will kind of watch it and just see what, obviously see how it flows, how the incidental music kind of sits with it. It'll be interesting because I like quite subtle music. I don't like anything too loud and bombastic, really. So let's see.
Yeah, I'll read you. I think it just needs to fit the tone of the story, doesn't it? If there's a few scenes where then that is required, because let's face it, Murray Gold did his fair share of bombastic, stuff. Yeah. In terms of stuff that he's done, though, like loads of big stuff. Loads of stuff. Jesus Christ, like Terminator Genesis, the Lego Batman movie, Churchill, Mission Impossible, Bad Boys, The Tomorrow War, Black Widow, Top Gun Maverick, Black Adam, Dungeons and Dragons, crikey, Beverly Hills Cop, Axel F, Wallace and Gromit. He's done the lot.
Wallace and Gromit? No way.
Yeah. Wallace and Gromit, Vengeance Most Foul.
That was, I must admit, because it's fresh in my mind, the music in that film was really good. He did a really good rendition of the Wallace and Gromit theme, and it was superb. Yeah, the music's going to be cool in this show, 100%.
Mm-hmm. I think so. Yeah, it's going to be wicked. He's done some video games as well. Done loads of work with Hans Zimmer. Loads of work.
Wow.
With Hans Zimmer, yeah, they've worked together on loads of things.
Do you think? I don't mean to be doom and gloom here, but do you think that this is potentially because we have a Disney budget for this show that they were able to afford him? Yeah.
100%. Yeah, because he's quite a big. Because his work is so varied, and he's been doing it since 2004, 2002. He's been working from, and we're talking like the biggest studios in the world with some of the highest grossing films in the world.
Yeah.
This is big monies to get this kind of composer in. So
yeah, we should enjoy it while we have this kind of thing in a Doctor Who spin-off about sea devils. It's no, that's really cool. Wow, that's going to be really cool. I also think that once we're out of the Disney deal, I wonder if we'll also still get these re-edits of classic stories as well. I feel like that may. I mean, well, I have no idea, but I wonder if that comes out of the Disney budget also, because it'd be a shame if we don't get those anymore, because I've really enjoyed them. I know I didn't really like the Daleks in colour, but also it's fun to see a reinterpreted version of like the old favourites. That's fun in its own way.
I think that's the important thing to note with some of these things as well, is that the BBC have not gone down the George Lucas route of saying, here's the old original stuff, and we're going to lock that away, and officially you can't watch that anymore. We're only giving you the option to watch the newer versions of this stuff. They're not doing that, which is good. What they're basically saying is, look, all of the original stories that you know and love are on iPlayer, DVD, Blu-ray, VHS, whatever you want. Go and watch them. The originals, if that's your thing, if you're a purist, stick to the originals, that's fine. All they're saying is, here's an alternate version that we think you would enjoy, have at it. And I think they did this with, what was it? Because we had quite a deep conversation on one of the podcasts ages ago, where Russell basically said, look, we're putting these together because we want younger fans to be able to dive into Doctor Who. And we can't expect them to sit through 4.5 hours of a classic story these days, which unfortunately is very true. So here's like a condensed version that will hopefully, keep your interest enough to get into it, and then the doors open for you to then experience more Doctor Who. So it's kind of like an alternative way to get especially younger fans into the show. There was one story or a few stories they did that with, and everyone lost their minds on it. Was the War Games. The War Games, yes, that was it. And everybody lost their beep about that. It was like, but that's exactly what I'm just saying. They didn't take out of circulation all of the original version of the War Games and said, you can't watch that one anymore. You can only watch the omnibus version. That's not what they're saying. And I think that rule, we have to keep that sort of in the back of our minds, I think, when we're talking about sort of condensed versions or omnibuses or re-edits and stuff like that. If you don't want to watch it, you don't have to watch it. You can just pull your VHS player out or your Laserdisc, Betamax, whatever you've got. Rip it out the loft, plug it in, S-Video probably, maybe composite, CRT, have at it.
What?
Do you know what though? I think the BBC have missed a trick really, because the original classic series was 22 to 25 minutes long. I don't see why they can't put classic stories on and do 20 minute episodes with the cliffhangers and just show them over a week and kind of keep doing that.
Well,
do you know what I mean?
Well, they can. There's nothing stopping them doing that. But unfortunately, Maria, the younger generation won't do that. The younger generation will be like, okay. And let's be honest with ourselves here. Fans, team. There's a reasonable amount of classic Doctor Who stories that are between the either 4 or the 6-parters. And some of those are paddy. Mm-hmm. Let's not look at this with rose-tinted glasses too much. There's quite a few stories where the middle part is quite paddy. And so if you're asking a teenager with their phone in their hands the whole time to say, okay, what would you prefer? Here's an hours-long omnibus edition or a 90-minute, hour-and-a-half version. Or you have to sit through 6 parts of this while you've got Instagram on your phone on the go, TikTok, and all that stuff. It's not going to happen. As much as it pains me to say that, the younger generation are just not going to sit through 6 parts of classic Doctor Who that way.
It's also not marketable because you can bet money that they're going to put this on Blu-ray or maybe even make a steelbook out of it or something. Oh, actually,
yeah,
they'll probably put it as a special feature on the War Between the Land and the Sea Blu-ray or something. They're doing a steelbook of that.
Yeah,
I'll probably get it.
That could be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I understand what you're saying, Maria. There's absolutely nothing stopping them at all from, repeating the stories, doing them weekly, throwing a little bit of money at the marketing to say, yeah, Doctor Who's back on the TV. Enjoy it as it was when it first went out, cliffhangers and all that stuff. But people our generation, our age, will watch them, of course. But Harry's lot, just no chance.
I'm just aware that obviously the way that they built a fan base, especially abroad, like in the US and in America, was in America and Australia, was they were repeating the stories all the time. So yeah. I would say if you had Doctor Who on year round, so you were repeating the classic series, and people knew what time it was on and when it was on, I still think you could build a fan base from that. I don't think I know what you're saying about young people, but don't they scroll on their phones for hours looking at videos and all sorts of stuff?
And that's exactly why they won't stick with it. Having said that, there was an idea. I don't know if they're still going to do it. I'm not sure if they'll ever do this for Doctor Who, but there was an idea, and I think it was Disney Plus that were going to do it, where they were looking into this concept of creating a channel for some of their IP. So when I say a channel, I mean instead of going on to a streaming app like Netflix or Disney Plus, and then you select a film and watch it, or you select a TV show and start watching it, you don't have the choice of what that individual. So say if they did one for Marvel, it would just be a streaming channel, and 24/7 they would be playing all of the things basically. So they'd play like, you know, a series of, you know, like the Avengers films, and then they might play like, you know, what are they called? Shield, that series. You'd see episodes of that, and then you might see like Black Widow film and that sort of thing. So I'm pretty sure that they were looking into doing that. So if they did that with Doctor Who, where you just had 24/7 all of Doctor Who playing on shuffle, all different stories, classic, new, spin-offs, the whole lot, so people could, you know, in the background just have Doctor Who on, or if you want to sit there and watch it. So something like that I think could be very cool, because you're just kind of spinning the wheel, if you like. You know, it's like, oh, should we stick the Doctor Who channel on and just see what's on? So I think something like that could be wicked. That could be really, really cool. But I think the concept of like the BBC saying, for the next 6 weeks we're going to play an episode of the Sea Devils, tune in at, you know, whatever time to watch that, it would have to be outside of peak viewing thing, because, you know, their viewing schedule will be packed with like prime time modern TV shows. So it would have to be on like late at night or midday or some rubbish like that. And yeah, you just wouldn't get the uptake, I don't think. As sad as it sounds, this is making it sound really sort of doom and gloom, as sad as it sounds, but that is the reality of modern television, you know. That's the thing.
I mean, if you are going to get a modern audience then, and a younger audience, that means they have to do omnibuses for every story then, don't they? If that's the only way to kind of attract young people to watch something. Maybe
I'm not saying that's the only way. What I'm saying is, for the big popular stories from Classic Who, the ones that you would say, okay, these are the ones that are more likely to attract or to, you know, get people hooked. I think it's those big popular stories that you would put in omnibus format. And then if younger viewers buy into that and they're like, actually, that was pretty cool, that's your foot in the door for them to fire up iPlayer and look at other Doctor Who. I think that's the route into it, you know.
Or the most topical stories, like obviously picking the Sea Devils because they've got a spin-off, because young people love a trend.
You do.
We do.
Yes.
Yeah.
You do indeedy. Yeah. Yeah. So, but again, you have to sort of take the other side of the coin with all this as well, and that is, there has never been a more easier, more accessible time to watch all of Doctor Who and all the spin-offs. You know, if you've got ITVX, I think they still have ITVX in the US, where you can watch all of Doctor Who and everything. That is on Doctor Who. I will say, Doctor Who is on repeat more in the US in North America than it is in the UK.
Yeah.
So whenever I'm on vacay in Canada or US and we're in a hotel room and I've just got an hour to spend because Mrs. Blue Box is taking an hour to get ready, and I'm sort of channel surfing, more often than not, I'll see like BBC America or Space Channel in Canada or something like that. They're repeating Doctor Who. I've seen countless episodes of Matt Smith's era, Eccleston, and a bit of Classic Who on that. The other thing as well, Maria, is that if you really want to target like some of the older viewers, I know we've spoken a lot about the younger generation and trying to get them into it, but I think back in the day, guys, please correct me if I'm wrong, but Doctor Who did go out on UK Gold. Yeah,
there was UK Gold. I know. Yes. I could never get it. I mean, my parents weren't going to get it, but I knew that they played Doctor Who continuously on there.
Is it dead now, UK Gold? Is it an old?
Oh no, it's going
still
strong,
going?
dude. It's one of the most popular
nice
channels on terrestrial TV in the UK. Yeah,
brilliant.
So for listener, if you're listening to this and you're in outside of the UK, UK Gold is a TV station here that plays like old school television programs, like back in the day, sitcoms and and all that stuff. It doesn't do films or documentaries. It's literally just drama and sitcoms and that sort of thing from like, I don't know, the 60s onwards up until, I don't know, like the late 90s, early 2000s, I guess. I can't remember exactly, but I know Doctor Who was on there quite a bit, going back a few years.
I think they used to do a lot of Tom Baker on there. I don't know if they did
and Pertwee. They did, yeah.
Yeah, so I think because those were really popular Doctors back in the original time, I think that's what kind of got people excited again. So I think, you know, if you were to start with classic, you'd obviously probably start with Pertwee and Baker anyway. So yeah, I mean, I think you're right, Gary. Yeah, I think you're right.
If you still want to watch UK Gold, it's now been renamed since 2024 to U and Gold, which is interesting.
Yeah,
but,
there's a bunch of stations that all got shoved into one new group. Remember the channel Dave?
Yeah,
Dave.
Yeah, I think that's part of it. That's part of the U thing now.
You
and all
Dave.
that stuff.
Yeah.
You and Dave.
You and
So
Alibi.
basically, they just it's now a conglomerate of.
I think Dave used to show a lot of Red Dwarf because I remember
Red Dwarf.
watching quite a few episodes of that on there.
You and Drama. I remember the Drama channel showing some Doctor Who omnibuses. That's where I first watched the Aztecs, I think.
Okay. So anyway, there's a bunch of channels that would probably be quite willing to pick up some classic Who again, and then that would obviously target your older generation, the demographic that typically tunes in for those. You'd be good. Anyway, TV demographics and viewing habits aside, the Sea Devils omnibus will go out, much to the chagrin of Maria and other classic Who fans, and it will go on BBC 4 at 7 p.m. on Sunday, and then it will be followed straight away by the double bill of The War Between Land and the Sea, which starts at 8:30. Also, you have to flick over to BBC One. What a chore, having to turn the bloody channel over from BBC 4 to BBC One. Just watch it all on iPlayer. Just put the kettle on an iPlayer. So that's that. Last story before we say goodbye. And it's a very, very quick, almost nothing story, which is Russell T Davies was interviewed recently about where he's up to with the 2026 Christmas special. Come on, Russell, update please. What's going on with the most important thing in your life, aka Doctor Who? He basically said, sod all is what's happening with the Christmas special thus far. So this is the Radio Times interview with him, and they said, have you started work on the Christmas special yet for next year? He says, not at the moment because I'm busy on The War Between the Land and the Sea. I'm also shooting a new show up in Manchester. So when my plate clears after that, presumably next year, we'll get to work on it. So no progress yet on that. They did go on to say he's keeping quiet on the actual story details and themes. But he has confirmed that he's got all the plots and all that stuff worked out. So he says, I know exactly what's going to happen in the story. Don't worry about that. He just actually needs to write the script and bring it to life. So that's the thing with that. So Harry's bursting with excitement.
Gary,
at the thought of that.
I don't know how I'm going to sleep until next Christmas, let alone this Christmas. Good.
Couple this with the AI videos of Billy Piper and Paul McGann on set.
I've got a bee in my bonnet about the AI thing. I think, and this is a bigger conversation than Doctor Who really, but for as a tool for helping you with stuff, work, that kind of thing. It's
to help you with AWS, stuff,
that kind of thing.
Yeah, fine.
Yeah.
Fine. Let's just go.
But
Fire
you
it
know,
up.
using people's faces and creating fake imagery and all that kind of stuff, I don't think that's cool, man. And yes, in the Doctor Who sphere, we've got these fake pictures of Paul McGann and Billy Piper looking at a script and like some rather physically impossible TARDIS set designs, and also people still wearing face masks on the crew. I mean, I know some people still do wear face masks, and that's fine. But yeah, it's that's all been very annoying, and that's all been very negative. So I don't want to focus on any of that. But this is kind of cool. It's kind of cool that Russell knows what he's gonna do. I mean, I would hope so, because he was writing scripts for Series 3, but I mean that might not happen. It might not happen with Russell. So like, who knows? But no. I can't wait for Christmas 2026. We might as well just skip Christmas 2025. You know?
Yay!
Yeah. No, I'm sure it'll be all right. And if we do have Paul McGann, again, I don't care if it's seen as desperate or jumping the shark or whatever. Like, you know, I would love to see Paul McGann. I bet all of us would love to see Paul McGann or any past Doctors or whatever.
So yeah, it's all it's one of those things where, going back a few years, when there was absolutely nothing going on with Doctor Who, no news, no updates or anything, the fandom entertain themselves by just hitting Reddit or forums, Gallifrey base, whatever you want to go on, and just trying to squeeze as much info as they could out of whatever sources they claim to have, and then just debate and talk about it all. Nowadays, as you were saying, with AI at their disposal, they're now creating what they think will be, you know, in this upcoming special, and then trying to pass it off as legit and all the rest of it. So we've gone from people having healthy discussion, well, say mostly healthy discussion online about stuff that's, you know, there's not much going on, to now taking it to a whole new level and like, well, actually, I think that Paul McGann is in the upcoming special, so I'm going to put Paul McGann on the set and do all this stuff. So, you know,
I just think it's
kind of run away with itself a little bit.
I mean, you know, again, like bigger discussion than Doctor Who, like AI image generation it can be used for rather insidious means, but like I just think it's rather annoying when you know, we're being misled by things like this, and it's I just don't think it's necessary, and I would implore anyone to not create those images, to not create those images and try and spread fake news and anything like that. But then again, I guess it's just like any other tool. It's just like when like people making like fan trailers and things like that. It just so happens that this form of fan content is particularly convincing and might sort of lead you astray. So yeah, and it doesn't help with managing expectations, because people might genuinely be convinced that Paul McGann is coming back when he might not be back at all. So yeah, I don't know. I've got to be in my bonnet about it, I'm afraid, Gary. But yeah, it is what it is. Yeah. We can't stop it.
Reader. No, you can't stop it. And Maria, we were just saying that it's a bit of a nothing story, really, just to finish up on, but Russell T Davies hasn't started writing the script yet for next year's Christmas special, because he's busy with the Wolves Land and the Sea and a different TV show that he's filming in Manchester, blah, blah, blah. But he knows exactly what it's going to be about. He knows the plot. He's got it all up in his head. Just hasn't written it yet, which I know you're bummed about because you can't wait for that, of course.
Oh yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait to see what comes out of Russell's head next.
Oh dear.
Yeah, we were saying, obviously, there's quite a few things to wrap up in the Christmas story, because I assume this is a one and gone story that he's doing. So, and I somehow think that he's not going to do what we expect. So, I don't trust what's in Russell's head anymore. Not since he was talking about that Peter Purvis dressed as a cow or something in Unit, something like that. I don't really trust what's in his head. Hopefully he won't let us down in terms of what he's thinking. But he's still got his issues in terms of the things that he wants to talk about. I'm hoping that he doesn't do any of that. He just gives us, a rollicking adventure, kind of ties things up. Because I'm assuming there'll be an announcement about a further series once this airs. Wasn't that what we were told, that there was a new series coming? So I'm not assuming that he's going to be a part of that. So maybe I'm making assumptions there.
Yeah, we just know that from that press statement that they put out, the BBC that is, that they just said that they're fully committed to Doctor Who, and just the Christmas special is just going to be the next thing on the conveyor belt. What's coming after that, by who, when, starring who, whatever, nobody knows about that stuff yet. But certainly the Christmas special for next year is definitely happening. But yeah, no idea when Russell's going to get to that. I mean, you'd think that he'd have to get to it reasonably soon into the new year, but who knows? Who knows? So, Who fans, that has been the latest Doctor Who news, mainly centred around the war between the land and the sea. Of course, because that's the new thing that's about to drop around the corner. When is it? Next weekend, isn't it? Yeah, next weekend, next Sunday. So that's the next thing that's going to drop.
Nice.
So that's what the chat has been about, and then a little bit from Russell about that stuff. And Maria's gone. Bless her and her Wi-Fi. Hey. Her router, I think her Wi-Fi router is like one of those, in Back to the Future, the first one where Marty's at the beginning just going through all of the stuff in the Doc's place, and it's just all these weird contraptions built out of like stuff that explodes and there's sparks coming out of it and all the rest of it. That's the vision I have in my head when I think about Maria's Wi-Fi setup. Bless her. So I don't think Maria's going to be back for the goodbyes. But Harry, I think that's a good place, dude, to wrap it there for the November Roundtable.
Alrighty.
Thank you so much for checking out the November Roundtable with the Big Blue Box team. 1.5 of them, at least. That was Harry and Maria joining for the latest news around the Warped Land and Sea and a bit on the upcoming Crimbo special. Really interesting chat on that one, Harry. Really good to dive into your thoughts on that era of Doctor Who in general, the Sea Devils. The story, some of the sort of mini controversies around it with the omnibus and the Homo Aqua and all that stuff. But I think ultimately we're going to tune in regardless, right? And check it out.
Yeah, it's going to be a really cool, fishy Christmas, I'm sure. I reckon we'll have a good time with it. Thanks for the great chat, as always.
Yeah, it's been really cool. Very, very cool. And sadly, Maria's dropped out, in and out. But we'll pass on her goodbye on her behalf. Make sure you are following or subscribing, dear listener, to the Big Blue Box in your preferred podcast app of choice. You won't miss all of these cool episodes. And when Adam and I are free and we do the standard weekly stuff, you'll get all that as well. We're on the socials too. You can find links to those on the website, which is bigblueboxpodcast.co.uk, and you can check out all the reviews from this lot. And we have a free Discord server. Hop in there and chat Doctor Who with plenty of other cool Doctor Who fans and talk about everything Doctor Who related. We'll be back next month for the December/Christmas roundtable, so join us then.
I love a Christmas roundtable. Love it.
Indeed. My name's Gary.
My name's Ari.
And remember, hey.